Listening Library presents Greeking Out, Tales from the Underworld, Ghostly Myths from Around the Globe by Kenny Curtis and Jillian Hughes. Narrated by Jesse Bernstein and Grace Lynn Kung. Holy Hades! Tales of the Underworld from Around the World. Since the beginning of time, human beings have wrestled with some really big questions. Why are we here? Why does time only move forward? And what do you call that little metal thing right below the eraser on a pencil? But the biggest question has always been this: what happens after we die? We know, death is not exactly a pleasant thing to talk about. Most of us tend to avoid the topic at parties, and yet it kind of seems like we humans can't stop thinking about it. All over the world, and all throughout history, different cultures have come up with thousands of stories about what happens after a person dies. Some are myths, some are folktales. Some are scary movies with zombies that walk so slow you almost feel sorry for them. But each one paints a slightly different picture of the great beyond. There are literal underground underworlds, heavenly palaces in the sky, and general mysterious spirit realms. But it's clear that people have been trying to crack this whole mystery of the afterlife thing pretty much since forever. And ancient cultures told a lot of really incredible stories to help them think it through. In our two previous books, we included a bunch of these stories from Greek mythology.
Heads up to grown-ups. It's important to remember these stories were not written with kids and families in mind. Some of these tales have pretty heavy themes, and some even have gruesome, or just plain gross, moments. So we recommend that caregivers follow along with young or sensitive readers. But no spoilers, okay?
Remember all those gods and heroes like Orpheus, Persephone, and Heracles who journeyed into the underworld for one reason or another? In the pages that follow, we will tell you tales of even more Greek heroes who wound up encountering the underworld, like Theseus, Odysseus, and Psyche. But this time, we're taking things even further. In these pages, we're going on an extended field trip to bring you a peek at the underworld from around the world. Practically every ancient culture seems to have had a slightly different way of characterizing death and the underworld. So in this book, we're going to explore them all. Well, not really. We're going to explore a few of our favorites. With plenty of stops back in ancient Greece, we'll be traveling from Mesopotamia to Mexico, from Ireland to India, all in search of answers to those big life and death questions. You'll see the Norse god Loki scheme to trap a rival in the underworld, and the West African god Tano try to outrun death himself. You'll learn how the Egyptian sun god Ra has to travel through the underworld every night before he can move the sun through the sky every day. You'll encounter a surprising number of love stories and at least one room full of flying knives. So, consider this your invitation to a story-filled celebration of life in the afterlife. Let's get this party started!
Meet the Oracle of Wi-Fi. I am the Oracle of Wi-Fi. As in previous books, I will appear from time to time to offer fast facts, add clarifications, and throw down some general knowledge. So, please keep your ear out for my icon and pillar to get some real Oracle-style wisdom. Also, the little metal thing right below the eraser on a pencil is called the ferrule. Now you know.
Chapter 1. Theseus and Perithous, a bad bromance. This tale features arrogant demigods, a Heracles cameo, a really sore butt, and some super-duper bad ideas. Things were going pretty well for Theseus. After defeating the monstrous Minotaur and becoming king of Athens, he was pretty much the golden boy of ancient Greece. Because Poseidon may have been his dad, this wasn't particularly surprising. Theseus had caught the attention of almost everyone in Greece, including another famous demigod, Perithous. Perithous was the son of Zeus, and he was the king of the Lapiths in a region of ancient Greece called Thessaly. But he was still intrigued by Theseus. He had never met him, and he was interested in seeing just how talented the guy really was. One day, Perithous played a trick on Theseus. He stole all his cattle. Now, if you've read any of these stories before, or listened to the Greeking Out podcast, you know how seriously the ancient Greeks took their cows. Theseus was not amused. When he realized that it was Perithous who had stolen his precious cattle, he tracked the other king down and immediately challenged him to combat. "What kind of king steals another man's cows? Have you no respect?" Theseus bellowed. The two demigods traded blows for a short time, but it wasn't long before Perithous realized that he might be in over his head. Theseus was just as talented a swordsman as everyone had said, and while Perithous wasn't too shabby himself, he decided to yield and apologize to Theseus.
A demigod is a person with one mortal parent and one divine parent or grandparent. In Greek mythology, most of these demigods were children of Zeus. Some say he had around 100 children.
"Look, my bad. I just wanted to meet you. You might not have heard, but you have quite a reputation." After that, the two became fast friends. Perithous even invited Theseus to his wedding. This turned out to be a good thing because some rowdy centaur wedding guests got way out of control, and Theseus had to help keep everyone in line. But life wasn't all victory laps for Theseus. He suffered some big losses as well. For example, when his wife Phaedra died, Theseus was understandably depressed. And that may have been what led to one of the worst decisions in all of Greek mythology. As bad luck would have it, Perithous had recently suffered a similar fate. His beautiful wife, Hippodamia, died, and he was devastated. He decided to visit Theseus, and after spending a few days moping around Athens, Perithous and Theseus arrived at a terrible idea. They decided that they needed wives to make themselves happy. But because they didn't ever want to feel the sadness of losing a loved one again, they chose to pursue divine wives, specifically the daughters of Zeus, who were way less likely to die. Now, this was wrong for many reasons. Most important is that women are not property to be claimed or stolen. People should, want to get married. But to make matters worse, Theseus and Perithous had their eyes on two particular brides, neither of whom was actually available. Theseus had his heart set on young Helen of Sparta, soon to become Helen of Troy. So Theseus and Perithous stole Helen away and took her to Theseus's kingdom, where he planned to hold her until he was ready to make her his queen. This was very wrong, but surprisingly, not the worst idea these guys came up with. Here was the worst idea. Perithous wanted to kidnap the goddess Persephone and marry her. As you might know, Persephone was already married by this time, and not only was she already married, she was married to Hades, god of the Underworld.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?